This is the ex-Roman gladiator who led one of the most legendary slave revolts in history. He wasn't just any slave, he was a leader who challenged the very core of Rome's power. Why should you care about his story? Because it isn't just about ancient history, it's about the enduring fight for freedom and justice. So, who was Spartacus? This is the truth behind the ex-Roman soldier who led the most notorious slave revolt in history. We know little about Spartacus's early life, but we do know he was born in Thrace, an ancient land in southeastern Europe. Plutarch hints that he might have hailed from the Maedi tribe. As a young man, Spartacus served as a soldier, even working for the Roman army. In a bold act of defiance, he turned against his Roman employers, leading to his capture and enslavement. Spartacus and his wife, a prophetess from his tribe, were sold into slavery. They ended up at a gladiator school in Capua, near modern-day Naples. This school, owned by Gnaeus Lentulus Batiatus, trained men for brutal gladiator combat. It was here that Spartacus formed crucial alliances with fellow gladiators, Crassus and Oenomaus. Plutarch tells an intriguing story about Spartacus's wife. She once saw him sleeping with a snake coiled around his face and declared it an omen of a great and terrifying power that would follow him. True or not, this prophecy foreshadowed the incredible and fearsome revolt that Spartacus would soon lead. In 73 BCE, Spartacus and 78 of his fellow gladiators decided they'd had enough of their bondage. Armed only with kitchen knives and spits, they made a daring escape from the school. Soon they acquired real weapons and fled to the slopes of Mount Vesuvius. As they rallied more slaves to their cause, their numbers swelled. Spartacus quickly became a powerful symbol of freedom and a direct challenge to Rome's corrupt political system. In just 2 years, Spartacus's army grew to nearly 90,000 slaves from all over Italy. Rome sent multiple military forces to crush the rebellion, but Spartacus outsmarted them all. First, Praetor Claudius Glaber fell, followed by Praetor Publius Varinius. Spartacus's tactics were nothing short of brilliant. He used the terrain to his advantage, even descending the slopes of Mount Vesuvius on makeshift ropes to ambush the Roman forces. Spartacus had become a powerful force. His plan was to lead his soldiers back home, moving north to escape Roman-controlled southern Italy. But instead of crossing the Alps for freedom, his troops got sidetracked, more interested in plundering and causing chaos throughout Italy. Spartacus then aimed to sail to Sicily, hoping to gather more disaffected slaves. He struck a deal with Cilician pirates to ferry his army across the Strait of Messina, but the pirates betrayed him, either bribed by the Romans or simply abandoning the agreement. This betrayal left Spartacus in a dire situation, facing Marcus Licinius Crassus, Rome's richest man and a ruthless politician. Crassus brought 8 legions and revived the brutal practice of decimation, executing every 10th man in units previously defeated by Spartacus. This harsh discipline sent a clear message. Failure was not an option. Spartacus, realizing Crassus was serious, offered to negotiate, but Crassus flatly rejected the peace treaty. After a series of setbacks, Spartacus faced Crassus in a final battle in 71 BCE. He fought valiantly, but his forces were overwhelmed, and he perished in combat. His body was never found, adding to his legendary status. Crassus sent a brutal message by crucifying 6,000 of Spartacus's soldiers along the Appian Way. This gruesome sight served as a stark reminder of the cost of defiance. While Stanley Kubrick's film Spartacus showed him among those crucified, historical records suggest otherwise. Historian Appian of Alexandria noted that Spartacus's body was never recovered. Although Spartacus's revolt didn't end slavery in Rome, it inspired future generations. In the 18th century, Toussaint Louverture, known as the Black Spartacus, fought the French to free Haiti from its imperial overlords and abolish slavery. Spartacus remains a powerful symbol of resistance against oppression, his story echoing through the ages. But this isn't the only version of this powerful ex-Roman soldier's story that exists. Historian Barry Strauss tells us that the story of Spartacus is more complex than Hollywood often shows. Spartacus and his men fought for their freedom, which is a noble cause, but they also brought destruction and chaos. It's hard to say that Spartacus aimed to end slavery in Italy. His main goal was survival and freedom for himself and his followers. Spartacus and about 70 fellow gladiators charged the guards and grabbed a wagon full of gladiator gear before escaping to the hills. But it wasn't as simple as sneaking back into society. The Roman militia didn't take kindly to their freedom, so Spartacus and his men roamed the countryside like a band of outlaws, living off whatever they could steal from nearby towns. The militia eventually surrounded Spartacus and his men at their camp on Mount Vesuvius. The Romans had them cornered on all sides except for a sheer cliff right behind them. Spartacus eyed the vines and wondered if they were strong enough. In the dead of night, they climbed down and ran through the Roman camp, defeating an enemy 10, maybe 50 times their size. As word spread of these gladiators putting Rome to shame, more people joined them. Runaway slaves, herdsmen, shepherds, and even some veterans of the social war when all of Italy went to war with Rome. At their peak, Spartacus's army grew to about 70,000 strong, but there was nowhere in the Republic to hide such a large force. Spartacus's exact plans from this point are unclear. Some think he wanted to bring the fight to Rome, while others believe he aimed to move everyone to Gaul and perhaps take some land there. But for Rome, this was unacceptable. An enemy inside of Italy wasn't to be tolerated. The army had been slow to respond because most of their legions were putting down another rebellion in Spain or fighting their neighbors in Crimea. Eventually, Spartacus defeated one of the rebel commanders, but Spartacus himself sent them home with their tails between their legs. For Spartacus and his followers, this was a fight for life and liberty. But for the average Roman soldier, it was hard to get inspired at the thought of risking life to beat up a bunch of slaves whose primary goal was to leave and never come back. Back in Rome, no one wanted to put their career on the line over a bunch of slaves either. That's where Crassus came in, the richest man on earth and a senator who built his fortune on the misfortune of others. Crassus took command of the army, and for the soldiers who lost to Spartacus the first time, he implemented the policy of decimation. Every 10th man of his army was chosen at random and beaten to death by the other 9, forcing his men to fear him more than Spartacus. This tactic worked, and Crassus gradually began to gain the upper hand. Spartacus, now trapped in southern Italy, attempted to make a break for Sicily but was betrayed by the pirates who had offered him passage. Now hemmed in not only by Crassus but also by the returning generals Pompey and Lucullus, Spartacus made his final stand. He cut down swaths of centurions as he tried in vain to get to Crassus before finally he was cut down by his guards. In the aftermath of the battle, all of the surviving 6,000 captives from Spartacus's army were crucified along the Appian Way, serving as a reminder of the price of defiance. Historian and author Barry Strauss paints a complicated picture of Spartacus and his army. These men were a mix of good and bad. On one hand, they fought for their freedom, which is undeniably noble, but they also left a trail of destruction, pillaging innocent people's homes and wreaking havoc across Italy. Even when they had a chance to escape, they chose to continue their rampage, which many would see as less honorable. It's also hard to argue that Spartacus led the revolt to end slavery in Italy. No ancient writer suggests he had any interest in abolishing slavery. While most modern historians haven't tried to dispute this idea directly, there's little evidence to support that ending slavery was Spartacus's goal. Spartacus's revolt didn't end slavery or free all his followers, but it made a lasting impact on history. His story has been retold countless times, showing resistance against oppression. So, what do you think? Was Spartacus a true hero? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from our channel. Thanks for watching.